So today I'm going to be using the Sculk Catalyst to mine for diamonds. The plan is to use a mob spawner and Sculk Catalyst to turn blocks into Sculk blocks, which are a lot easier to mine than the deep slate blocks. This is a crazy idea. It might end up going badly, it might end up going really badly and involve too much work, but that's Raj for ya. The first thing I want to do is double check in creative that this works before I invest a lot of time into it. So I have glass here, I have diamond ore, and I have a Sculk Catalyst and some husk eggs, and let's see if they turn it into Sculk blocks, which means I won't do this project, or if it doesn't. Let's see. Okay, it didn't turn it into it, that's good. And the first thing I wanted to do was build an elevator, as this idea could destroy the underground and I need an easy way to move up and down. First I had to head out to the desert to get some sand for the glass, then I got to do one of my favorite things in Minecraft, which is just to mine sand. Maybe I'm a weirdo, but I do find it oddly satisfying. I got a lot of sand, filled up my inventory, then I went to my furnaces and smelted it to glass and washed it like a microwave, which you shouldn't do. I do a lot of weird things, don't I? Then I had to mine out the area for the elevator. It's a bit of a strange area as it cuts through a cavern. Then I headed back to the ocean to grab some kelp, then go to the nether to grab some soul sand, which is close to my nether portal. Then I just had to build the columns and place a lot of kelp to get the water source blocks for this to work. So the elevator is done. Next thing I gotta do is find a Sculk Catalyst, which means a deep dark biome. Underground to this point I've only found the dripstone caves, which makes sense since I'm in a giant plains biome. The deep dark biome is found in the mountains. There are obviously a bunch around here that I can look under, but I think this one's the obvious one since there's a ravine leading down. So one thing I want to do to check before I head down there is to look at my armor. So it has protection there, protection, nothing on here, and nothing on my helmet, which isn't good. I also lost my sword when I died putting together that elevator, so I gotta get a new sword before that, which is tricky because I do not think I have. Oh, I do have some diamonds. Okay, that's good, but I don't have that many levels. I only have 6 levels right now, which is not good, but I do have a lot of stuff for villager trading. Okay, so I have a ton of melons and pumpkins, and let's see if I can get a lot of enchantment levels out of that. That was quite a bit, and since I need some more levels, let's head into the nether and try to get some more. Oh, there's a mending book here, and mending, so I do need more mending books, so that is good. So I need to do some villager trading to get some more levels, and in order to do that I need to let the villagers out of that house, and if I do that they'll go through this nether portal, so I gotta disable this temporarily. Well, that trading with the villagers worked out really well as I ended up with 35 enchantment levels, and let's see what I can get on this sword. Knockback 2, that isn't great, but let's see anyways. Okay, that was a terrible decision on my part. Let us remove the enchantments and try this again. So attempt number 2, sweeping edge 3, that is very good. So unbreaking, smite for sweeping edge, that's not overly great, but it's good enough. So I am ready to head into the deep dark biome. I have all of my armor enchanted. I have the mending enchantments on all of it, so hopefully it'll restore some of the armor. I got lucky and stumbled into an ancient city. I wandered through some of the tunnels I had mined when I got bored of caving and hit the ancient city, which is really lucky. My last world, it took forever for me to find one. Once I found it, I got a Sculk Catalyst. Of course, you gotta mine it with a Silk Touch enchanted hoe. I wanted more, so I sneaked, or is it snuck around, not trying to set off a Sculk sensor and trigger a Sculk Shrieker. I don't want to die from the warden. I put some wool around one Sculk Catalyst to mine it since wool blocks block vibrations in the game. So I have all the Sculk Catalysts I need. 4 is more than enough. And the other thing I needed was a diamond hoe, so I have this efficiency 4 diamond hoe with mending. And Sculk blocks are very easy to break, and especially with the diamond hoe. So hopefully I can restore the durability pretty quick, and it should be easy to mine everything that turns into Sculk blocks. Now for this, I should probably have some kind of name for this farm. Maybe I should call it something like the AFK Zombie Dungeons XP Grinder with a Sculk Catalyst. So the last thing I need to do is put the finishing touches on this farm. It shouldn't be that hard. So I basically just had to clear out the area and then do a giant space where it falls down about 24 blocks and the mobs die. There are the Sculk Catalysts and the drop where the mobs are going to fall down here. And if you don't know how Sculk Catalyst blocks work, I have a video on it. I think it is one of the best blocks, as it will turn blocks into Sculk blocks when a mob that drops XP dies within range of it. It also generates Sculk sensors and Sculk shriekers. You can use it for a farm for other Sculk blocks. I can't remember what it's called, but there is a bubbling effect, so it'll keep expanding outwards, even out of range for the Sculk Catalyst. Seriously, one of the best blocks in the game in my opinion. Okay, so the entire thing is set up. I just had to get rid of the torches in here, and it should be go time. So I am in here in my little platform. It is tinted glass, so I can watch everything that's going on in there without affecting the mob spawning with the light. So for this, I'm going to be doing a time lapse where I just let the thing run and turn blocks into Sculk blocks. Then I'm going to have to go down there and mine the area. Unfortunately, that was an abysmal failure. I've barely gotten any ores and no diamonds. I've tried focusing on a chunk and tried some other stuff to get it to work a little bit better. I could stop here and end the video, but you know what? I gotta take this to the max to see how well this works. So what I'm going to do is build a mob farm to see if I can make this process go a bit faster and get more diamonds. This is a pretty common mob farm to use. So first thing I did was to mine out all of the space I needed for the mob farm. What I wanted to do was build this at a spot close to the surface. The idea was to get it to work while I'm at bedrock to make it go faster. Basically, I wanted to be able to mine the Sculk blocks while the mob farm was turning the deep slate into Sculk blocks. With this, I was guessing it was a correct spawning area for this to work, but it was not the ideal since the caves aren't lit up properly. And as you can see here, I am building the platforms with the dispensers and observers that'll push off the mobs to the side. I already built the funnel for underneath, and now I'm trying to build the redstone clock at the top of this using redstone repeaters and forgetting which way they face and how this clock works, even though I built it multiple times. Oh, this is fun. And the last thing was to build this water stream with a funnel at the bottom. Basically, this lines up with the dungeon mob spawner, so both of them will drop mobs at the same spot. And let's check out the loot. So there is tons of rotten flesh, a good amount of ores. I got 46 diamonds, which is not that great for the amount of effort. If I just sort of went caving, I probably could have got more, but you can see it is producing some stuff. There is the armor and then random other stuff, mostly related to the mob spawner when I put that in. I think this time worked a lot better. One thing I did differently was to make it a flat surface where the mobs landed. I don't think this made it work better, but it made it easier for me to mine. I think this isn't a bad idea, but you have to get it to work a certain way. You need to basically have the mob farm working at the same time as you are mining out the area. Also, this process is slow. The Sculk Catalyst only will turn the block on the surface into Sculk blocks, so you have to constantly be removing the top block. I think this works better for storing XP. It allows you to be AFK while your XP grinder works. I was able to get enough XP to restore all of my tools, weapons, and armor. All of them were close to breaking. Just look at my enchantment levels. I'm at level 51. So for mining diamonds, it didn't really do great, but for storing XP and getting XP, it worked fabulously. So I think that is enough for today's episode. Thank you guys for watching.